What's up everybody and welcome to my Balisong Collection 2024. That's right, it is once again time to take a look at my ever-changing collection in the same way that scientists attempt to map out the endless noise arising from the indeterminate state of matter in accordance with the fundamental principles of quantum mechanics. Yes indeed, the complexities of what Balisongs I acquired this year are much like Chili's chips and salsa, truly endless, which is why I've selected exactly 8 of them to present to you today, truly endless. Also, there's an extra one at the end for fun, but I think that's supposed to be a secret. Shit. Truly endless. And so, before we dive headfirst into me trying to figure out how to talk about only 8 Balisongs out of my massive collection of over 70, I would like to extend a thanks to our wonderful Patreon supporters. Oh, fuck. This weighs so much. Wow. We wouldn't be able to make videos like these without their support, much less the amount of dubious research that scientist Brandon has been up to recently.
The government shut off my funding! Yeah, I did that.
If you'd like to join awesome folks like Farah and Jake Flips on our private community Discord or want videos like these days in advance of the public, consider donating. Tiers start at just $3 a month and every single patron helps support us more than 1,000 views on one of these videos. Thanks, patrons. Now, first up this year is something that's new not only to my collection, but to many of yours. It's the Vulp Pro. The Vulp Pro was born from a desire to not only upgrade the original Vulp, but to provide something at a good price that would really perform at a high level for all flippers. We wanted to combine the accessibility of the Vulp with something new and stand out flipping-wise. It's got upgrades all around, from the 7075 aluminum and 440C trainer blade to the improved hardware and tolerances. And of course, the 3D integrated G10. That's right, the G10 on this Balisong is integrated fully into the handle. This design provides an incredible amount of grip in all the places you would want it without compromising the overall feel and functionality. We will be making a full-length video about the Vulp Pro at a later date, so I don't want to spend too much time talking about it here. In the meantime, you can check out my second channel for a more in-depth look at all the upgrades and features at the link in the description. And it can be improved and changed even more with mods, much like Brandon did with his custom Vulp Pro. Ooh. We've been getting a ton of great feedback from the community, so thank you to all of those who have bought one already for helping us figure out what needs to be improved. The Vulp Pro is now available in the USA on Amazon, meaning that you can get it shipped directly to you very quickly, and it's also available worldwide on nabalis.com. Also, by the way, if you currently have a Vulp Pro, we are looking for community-submitted B-roll and opinions for the big Vulp Pro video that we're gonna be doing on the main channel. Check the link in the description for more information about how you can submit your own footage to be featured in our video. Now, if the integrated G10 on the Vulp Pro reminds you of anything, this is probably why. The LDY Cygnus is an incredible addition to my collection this year, and its incredibly innovative use of G10 is part of what inspired me on my own design. When I first unboxed it, I was honestly really impressed with the Cygnus. It has such an interesting and beautiful design that really makes it stand out from other titanium and G10 knives. In fact, I proudly proclaimed that this might just be my favorite Balisong on my second channel after I flipped it for the first time. But this would all come crashing down not long after.
Sorry, you said crashing down. I thought that was my cue.
For what?
Everything.
You see, while its design is genius, the implementation leaves just a bit to be desired. Due to the amount of titanium removed from both the integrated G10 and this hole in the middle of each handle, the weight distribution ends up being just a bit wonky to me.
I'm a bit wonky.
Yeah!
It's not something that I noticed immediately, but after spending a lot of time flipping it, it became slightly more obvious. Now, to be completely fair, this is a fantastic top-level flipper. It's just not my favorite Balisong the way I originally thought it might be. But LDY is making some huge leaps in the Balisong hobby, with products like the Orion V1.5 being incredibly good value for the money. So we're really stoked to see what they keep releasing in the future. Next up is the most impressive budget Balisong from this year, the Serpent Striker V3 from Maxace. This is another well-made titanium and G10 Balisong, but what made it special was the price. When it was originally released, the Serpent Striker V3 was only $150, which is insane. Obviously, this can be attributed to things like the much cheaper cost of manufacturing in China, but the SSV3 does not skimp on features or build quality, even at this price. It's got pretty good blade steel mixed with fantastic feeling G10 and bushings. Not only is it an incredibly competent flipper for the price, but it also offers an amazing array of modability options. And don't just take my word for it. Instead, here's Brandon to talk about his crazy cool modded one.
All too easy. Also, someone's definitely going to get onto us for all this domestic violence at some point, right?
Freeze, domestic abuser! White people.
My custom Serpent Striker V3 is one of my favorite Balisong creations yet, alongside my custom Vulp Pro, and you can watch me document the process of making both of these in these videos right here. Maxace crushed it with the Serpent Striker V3, and it was a genuinely amazing value. And I say was because they made one batch of these and will never make any again. Why? Well, much like the question of how many licks does it take to get to the center of a Brandon clone. No! The world may never know. My Serpent Striker is very special to me, but the bad tune that mine had out of the box eventually caught up with it, and after many, many hours of swapping washers and retuning the bushings, I just can't get a consistent tune on it, so I ultimately went back to the live blade, and I like how that flips better, so what are you gonna do? It's actually really great. It's just not tuned great, but it's great. Make the Serpent Striker great again. Cut that out. The zippy spacers are absolutely awesome, and his products always open my eyes to how important weight distribution is in Balisongs, and being able to modify it like you can with these spacers is awesome. I've decided to forego doing a Brandon's Balisong corner section of this video, and possibly won't even be doing my own collection video like I did last year, but if there's demand for it, let me know. I'm happy to do it. It's just a lot of work. Let me know. Comment. Comments? Words, language, use it. But I have a ton of wacky stuff to keep talking about in the future, and my collection continues to get crazier and crazier. So, until I pop up in the bottom right corner of the frame with something exceptionally obnoxious to say, fly, you fools.
All too easy. Now I'd like to take a look at the Balisong that surprised me the most this year. That would have to be the Empusa from Fellowship Blades. It is easily one of the most unique Balisongs in my entire collection, with a design inspired from Lord of the Rings. It's also
massive.
Similar to its sister, the Medusa. I expected that this size would pose a problem when flipping, but I was shocked to find out that it didn't. Instead, the Empusa has become one of my favorite Balisongs to flip in general, and I'm often grabbing it off my wall due to its enjoyability as both a flipper and an EDC companion. Speaking of EDC, that massive blade comes in really handy, and being made of S35VN steel means it lasts a long time without needing to be sharpened. The tip is also surprisingly meaty, meaning that this thing takes a drop like no problem.
Man, it takes a drop like no problem. Man, son is a good Balisong, wow.
Grant makes some incredible products for shockingly competitive prices as an American maker, and we love that he has firmly established himself as a reliable source of high-end Balisongs with the likes of Machinewise and Squid Industries. We made a full review of the Empusa and the Medusa earlier last year, which you can see right here. One thing I do need to say after making that video is, Grant, I'm sorry for making fun of the Empusa name. I just assumed you stuck the word Empress and Medusa together the way that Machinewise has with stuff like the Propus or the Slisma, but I was wrong. If you, dear viewer, were unaware like me that the Empusa is actually a shape-shifting female being from Greek mythology, which is pretty cool and also fits the previous naming scheme of the Medusa. The more you know. Brandon,
is that not a visual effect?
It's
That's
there.
real.
Brandon, I need you to take
keep
care
calm,
of this.
keep
Please,
calm.
please.
I've trained for this. I got it.
Everyone has the one that got away. Whether it be a lover or a fish, everyone knows the feeling of loss, and I'm no different. My one that got away is from years past. In the 2019 collection video, I featured the Omeme trainer. Ah, good times. Unfortunately, not long after that video, I actually decided to sell my Omeme for a different Balisong that I wanted, and I regretted that sale ever since. Thankfully, I recently found this for sale on Instagram. This is the Omeme, but this time it's the live blade buoy design, my favorite. For those that don't know, the Omeme is a product from Ryworx, a legendary but elusive maker from Japan. He makes small batch products and releases them by himself, leading to low quantities but great quality on his most loved models like the Konoishi. The reason I sold my Omeme trainer is, well, it just wasn't actually that good. It's a great collector's item, and the aluminum spacers I had did make the balance slightly better, but the trainer blade was always just too heavy. This Omeme, however, is fantastic. It has barrel spacers, which reduce the weight of the handles substantially, and the buoy live blade is much better balanced than the trainer. Plus, this buoy design is honestly incredible, adding a fantastic twist on that classic design that I can only describe as Japanese buoy, similar to the way that the Squid Tsunami has a Japanese Tonto profile. You can just see the design elements of Japanese architecture oozing through this blade. What the hell is that?
Oh, sorry. I'm the Brandon clone that's programmed to ooze things anytime someone says oozing.
White people. And of course, it flips amazingly well too. The new balance combined with the bearing pivot system means that it's fast and nimble, responding immediately to almost anything I ask it to do, and it hugs the finger well during chaplains. And to be fair, it's just a pleasure to flip overall. By the way, I do actually still have the trainer blade for this one. It's also very important to me historically because you can actually see exactly where I took inspiration from the trainer blade for the Vulp trainer. I thought the usage of a bottle opener for a bite handle indicator was genius, as it added functionality in multiple ways. While the Omeme isn't actually made anymore, I'm glad that this homage to it lives on in both the Vulp and Vulp Pro trainer blades. Obviously, my collection is, well, massive. Thankfully, protecting and maintaining that collection is a breeze with my custom Balisong case. Brandon, can you hit the prompter button for me? It's falling, it's falling, it's falling, it's falling.
What's falling?
Both of them.
Both of them.
This is Case Foxtrot, a massive Pelican Air 1535 that weighs a lot with custom foam built by my case builder. Holy shit. It fits almost 40 Balisongs by default. However, if you don't have 40 Balisongs, that's okay. That's too many. In fact, we have cases for every size of collection and budget available on cases.willhirsch.gay. Oh, fuck. These are custom cases designed by me in partnership with my case builder to give you the ultimate performance in Balisong protection. For less than the price of one Vulp, you can get a case like this that holds 8 Balisongs and allows you to travel with your collection in style. You can learn more about all the various designs and their functionality here on the video we made specifically for the cases. Now, let's get back to the too many Balisongs that I have. Wow. When it comes to Balisongs, I've always wanted, one name springs to mind immediately. I don't know why I'm doing that voice. Hi. Jerry Hom is a veteran designer in the Balisong space, creating consistently creative and high quality designs, and this one is no different. This is the iBas, the channel version of the OG Basilisk that was released this year, or last year. 1 year? We'll figure it out. I do have an original Basilisk in the form of this elite version, but I don't flip it often due to not wanting to damage it. In fact, this might be the only safe queen in my entire collection, other than that one Brandon clone.
Me?
That is not the case for my iBas. If any of you saw the original video, we actually checked the durability of this knife ourselves very thoroughly. Since then, I have been enjoying my iBas a lot. I find myself EDCing it on a regular basis, and while it's not the absolute best flipper I own, it's still very performant all around and is a fantastic upgrade to the original Basilisk. Jerry continues to make some fascinating products, even making an all G10 Balisong called the Ghost, which is exactly as interesting as it sounds.
Speaking of ghosts...
Is that the whole joke?
Yes, I just wanted to add to the Brandon clone lore that we've successfully infiltrated the ethereal plane of existence.
Wait, does that mean—
Oh, sorry, B-roll segment time.
Oh, wait. I've already talked a lot about how my Balisongs are great for everyday carry. However, only one can be my EDC Balisong of the year. That title would have to go to the incredible EPS Wraith. This is easily one of my favorite additions to my collection this year. When I first got it, I was a little disappointed by its finish. It was rough around the edges in a literal sense, and I had to use sandpaper to make it more comfortable. But after doing that, this Balisong has rarely left my pocket on a daily basis. Since my feedback on it, EPS has implemented some better finishing techniques on the Wraith, which I love to see. This thing is just so good all around. The G10 feels wonderful, the balance is perfect for my preferences, and the blade is simple yet beautiful in design. It's also functional. That classical buoy gives you a great cutting edge, and the nice steel means that it holds the edge well too. The tip is utterly meaty, meaning that it stands up great to drops, though the G10 is a bit more fragile than most metals. The flipping is where this thing shines though, reminding me the most of my stitch steel, no, not the butter knife, Alien if it were a bit lighter. Honestly, I love it to death and have been picking it out of my entire collection over and over again. Except for one Balisong. There has been one Balisong this year that has simply blown away the rest for me. My favorite Balisong of 2023 is the Heibel Invictus. The Invictus hits all the best points for me. Its balance is exactly where my preferences are, and the dimensions of the handles mean that it's comfy and responsive no matter what trick I throw at it. The blade steel is fantastic, the design is beautiful, and it's custom made from one guy in the United States. What's not to love?
Me!
Jesus Christ, man, go to therapy or something.
No.
Speaking about that design, I mean, just look at mine. What blows my mind about Heibel is that he's able to pull off these intricate finishes and make them look effortless. I used the Wraith as an EDC over and over this year until I bought the Invictus. After getting this thing, I used it day after day for months straight, flipping almost nothing else except for review purposes. And I have a lot of Balisongs, so that is crazy for me. Sure, it's not everybody's cup of tea, but everything wonderful about this Balisong easily puts it on the top spot of my entire collection here at the beginning of 2024. And that excitement of finding my new favorite Balisong makes me even more excited about what might happen this year. What's so special about our community is that things are constantly changing and new ideas are always happening. I love to see the growth we experience every year, and it reminds me why I love this hobby in the first place. Speaking of new things, didn't I say there was an extra special secret item for the end of this video? I think I did. Surprise! It's the Squiddy WH.
Ah.
That's right, we're working with freaking Squid Industries.
Ah.
Yeah. The Squiddy WH is a newcomer to the Squid lineup. That's right, the Squid lineup. This is not just a one-off product. This is gonna be available for as long as people want it. Early last year, Lucas, the CEO of Squid Industries, reached out to ask if Brandon and I would be interested in collaborating on a new addition to the Squiddy lineup. Needless to say, we immediately agreed and got to work, designing something new and interesting to expand what the Squiddy was already known to be. There were two major goals with the Squiddy WH for me. The first was to make it look cool and unique, adding this fun techno paw print shape to the blade and making the handles a unique color. The second was to make it more flippable, adding features to increase the overall grip and therefore enhance the performance. And I'm very happy to say that it really feels like we pulled off both. It's fun to flip and feels different than the other Squiddies, and the design of the blade is really unique while still fitting into the Squid lineup, and the color of the handles turned out great. And this isn't some painted or dyed color that could come off easily with scratches. Instead, this is actual orange Delrin, though it may look a little more red than orange. Originally, I was kind of sad that it wasn't more of a bright orange, but then I realized how it perfectly matches everything in our Good Boy Brandon's collection, and I realized that it's actually perfect.
I'm a good boy.
Yes, you are. You want a treat? Yay, good boy. Good Brandon. Wow, good boy. Holy shit. If you want a Squiddy WH of your own, there are a couple ways to get one. First off, it will be added to the Squid lineup at some point officially in the near future. But we will also be doing a special drop of the first 100 units on February 7th on Squid's website. That's right, there will be 100 of these available and they will be numbered 001 to 100 for the first production. And it's kind of like 3D texture, the serial number sticks out, it's cool. The reason we're doing this is partially because it's cool to release a limited numbered drop, but also because we actually want your feedback on the design. After releasing this limited edition drop, we will be taking suggestions from the community and doing what we can to improve the design before the final release. So, the first 100 units will likely have minor differences from the final, always available product, but at the same time, I feel like that kind of makes owning a piece of this batch even cooler. If you don't get one of these on the first drop, I understand that it might be frustrating, but this will be coming back as a fully available product in the foreseeable future, so you won't be missing out if you miss the first drop. Thank you so much to Lucas and the rest of Squid Industries for making this dream a reality.
I hate that song.
And of course, thank you so much for watching. This past year has been a wild ride, and I'm excited to see what the future holds, both for our channel and for the community. Expect more awesome content from us, as well as potential collaborations. Who knows what the future might bring. As always, we do want to extend a huge thank you to our incredible Patreon supporters. We really appreciate every last one of you. Your support is the most direct and substantial way a viewer can help us create these very videos. This past year has been slow, but we've had substantial progress in terms of our Patreon membership, and every time I get the new patron email in my inbox, I always smile. I can't tell you how much it means to me that you might be willing to give us even a small amount of your money each month. I have had multiple patrons and people in general tell me that Brandon and I are their favorite YouTubers. And that means a ton to me. Like, I have my own favorite YouTubers, so I know what that kind of thing means to someone. That's insane. Thank you so much for the support from the bottom of my heart. I'm looking forward to what the rest of this year brings. But that's pretty much it for the moment. Now if you'll excuse me.
Good. It's just us now.
Really? Just us? My safe queen!
Oh, sorry, my bad. Whoops.